Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading and this one is all about a big choice and the outcome. So we're going to try to get as much information as possible in today's video by looking at some sort of big choice that's in your life. So think about something that's maybe been confusing to you or a big choice that you have to make that you know has been kind of like daunting you for a little bit, and then look at these 4 different groups that we have and feel into which one calls you the most, which one feels like it has the answer for you. And then once you're done choosing, there's gonna be timestamps linked down below in the comment box, as well as the description box, so you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about your choice and the outcomes of it. So we're hopefully going to get as much details as possible in today's video to help you with this choice, to sort of see the different storylines and the outcomes of these big choices that you have in your life. So I'm very excited about this video. I hope you are too. And again, just so you know, over here we have group number 1, then this is group 2, 3, and 4. So those are our 4 different groups. And there's timestamps linked down below in the comment box, as well as the description box, so that you can click ahead and skip to your personal reading. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile, then this is gonna be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, so my group 1s, here's what we have for you. So as you can see, this is laid out in a very kind of particular way. And this center card is representing you right now. And then over here we have option number 1, and then over here we have option number 2. So that is what these cards are representing. These are the pros, these are the cons, and this is the outcome. Pros, cons, and outcome. And then this is kind of you right now. And it's really interesting that this topic is all about choices. And then we have this 2 of Pentacles card, which represents a choice. So the fact that this is upside down kind of represents that this is maybe a really confusing choice, or maybe we've been kind of juggling between it for some time and we're like, okay, which one's better? Which one do I go towards? Because maybe they both, you know, have their different pros and cons, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So starting off with option number 1 over here, it looks like the pros of this choice is that we don't need to change. When the death card is reversed, this is when change is not happening, when we don't need to change. So one of the pros of maybe sticking to option number 1 is the fact that, hey, we don't really need to change if we stick with option number 1. Which maybe this is about kind of continuing on the same way that we always have. Like, should I just let things go? Should I just let it slide by? Should I just continue on my life and not do anything? And again, the pros are we don't really need to change. But then the cons of this would be that I think eventually, or you know, this wouldn't be us stepping into our power. We're not learning how to step into our power if we go this way. We're not learning how to become something greater. We're not learning how to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And that's what this con would be, because the Emperor is actually a very positive card, but when he's in the position of the cons of this scenario, this is really starting to kind of reveal an interesting picture for us where, you know, if we don't change, we're not improving. We're not reaching the heights that we really want to reach. We're not becoming the Emperor. We're not getting to the highest version of ourselves or creating the highest, you know, value for other people, or we're not stepping into our greatness. The Emperor is about stepping into our greatness. So it looks like if we stick to this area, we're not really stepping into who we should be. We're not stepping into that leadership position. There's part of us that may benefit from stepping into a leader position, right? But this option, it looks like we wouldn't be doing that if we just stay the same. And then the outcome would be a lack of emotional fulfillment, or maybe our emotions are still unsatisfied. Maybe there's emotional turmoil that we're kind of dealing with if we stay the same. Maybe there's something here where we're not really getting what we truly desire. We're not getting to experience the emotional experiences that we're really wanting to experience. Maybe we're even experiencing some lack or negative emotional experiences instead. So if we stay the same and if we go in this direction, it really looks like we're not creating the emotional experience that would truly benefit us or make us really fulfilled or happy. Because the Knight of Cups upright is a card of pursuing your happiness and pursuing the pleasures and the senses that we get to experience. But again, as it's reversed, it looks like we wouldn't really be experiencing those things with option number 1. Option number 2, it looks like the pros of option number 2 is us stepping into our power. This is self-respect. This is stepping into a leadership position where we have more power, more direction, and we're becoming a leader. This is also when we have a lot of charisma as well. So option number 2, it looks like there's another option for us. And this is an option where we step into our power. We use our sense of charisma to explain our ideas, to explain our desires and what we want. And this is also a card of a lot of passion. So going in this direction, I think, would really awaken more passion within you. And it may also inspire other people around you to be more passionate and more open. This is you stepping into a more inspiring role. The cons of this would be that we would have to maybe collaborate and listen to other people around us. It can't just be about us. And the King of Wands is not just about him. The King of Wands is somebody who really listens to the other people. He's a leader, right? So that means he has other people around him that he considers, that he listens to. Because a corrupt bad leader would be the King of Wands being reversed, which would be a bad leader who doesn't listen to anybody else and is full of his ego. But the King of Wands upright is a king that is not full of his ego. He does know what he wants, but at the same time, he's a very good collaborator and he's a very good leader, and people want to be led by him. So I guess the cons would be maybe we would have to learn how to listen more. Maybe we would have to learn how to collaborate more in this other direction, because this is the card of collaboration. And that might be one of the cons, because maybe we find it hard to do teamwork. Maybe we find it hard to listen to other people's ideas and, really consider them and create changes so that we can have, a very smooth group process. So rather than being selfish, rather than only thinking of ourselves, this other option, we would have to really learn how to work with other people and create something that's more in harmony and more in balance. We'd have to learn how to listen to constructive criticism and learn how to improve and change. Look at, he even has a work hammer in his hand down here. So one of, I guess, the cons would be that we might have to change and work on ourselves and actually listen to the criticism of maybe other people so that we can grow and shift and change. And that might be one of the cons, because sometimes we find it really hard to do that. Sometimes it's hard to listen to criticism and work on ourselves and change. It can be hard to change. And it's really interesting, because in this direction, if we don't change, the pros of it is that, hey, we don't need to change. So this could be where your mindset is. Your mindset might be in the direction of like, hey, if I just let it slide and I ignore it and I sweep it under the rug, I don't need to change and we don't need to talk about it. But then this direction, this other direction, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to learn how to change, because it does look like this direction is not really leading to emotional fulfillment. We're skipping the hard parts, but it's not really leading to emotional fulfillment at the end of the day. This part, we're not skipping the hard parts. We're having to actually really work on ourselves and listen to other people and listen to the feedback. But at the end of the day, the outcome is the Queen of Swords. The outcome is us having much clearer direction, of us having much clearer communication, and us being able to receive communication and being able to listen to it. But also having enough boundaries and more clarity and more logic to be able to absorb it and really hear what people are trying to say, rather than taking it emotionally and harshly, like the Knight of Cups being reversed, okay? So it looks like this outcome is us really needing to improve, but at the same time, it's leading to a much better outcome where there's a lot more clarity, and we're learning how to not get emotionally upset when people tell us certain things. So the option over here of really starting to open up and really starting to collaborate with other people, really starting to hear other people out, being able to listen, and then also, speak with respect and with compassion, because the Queen of Swords speaks with respect and with compassion. Even though she's the element of the swords, she still has compassion when she is upright. So here, group number 4, it's really looking like the best route would be the route of stepping into a higher position yourself, being the bigger person. I'm really hearing the words being a bigger person, and having clearer communication, really working on your communication is something that is going to help so much. And it might be an area that we're lacking in the current moment, which is again why the Three of Pentacles is in the cons position, the pros and the cons, right? It's in the cons position because that's an area that maybe we need to actually really work on. We need to work on our communication. We need to work on better teamwork ability, better collaborative ability, better ability to listen and take constructive feedback and use it in a constructive manner. Even if we get criticism, how can we use that constructively, right? So we're not always going to be told the judgments and opinions of other people in a nice way. It's not always going to come across in a nice way, but how can we use it constructively? How can we learn to put our emotions and feelings to the side, to hear things logically so that we can actually use that wisdom or that feedback in a constructive way? And I really think it's going to help propel you forward bigger than ever, because again, the pros of this, you're stepping into the King of Wands position, and the King of Wands is almost like the Emperor. So this is us learning how to become a much stronger, better, and higher version of ourselves. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get some more cards on this reading for you. So group 4, what else does Spirit have to say about group 4? Inner wisdom. So you know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. So this is asking you to take action now. Use that inner wisdom. It's saying that you already have that wisdom within you to have a successful outcome. You already have that. And look at, we have Athena. Athena is that like warrior goddess. She always reminds me of a warrior goddess. And she's a very wise person. We also have the owl there, which represents knowledge and wisdom. This could even be, why am I hearing something about reading self-transformation books or self-help books or, what is it called? Like the personal development. Yeah. I'm hearing personal development books or personal development courses is going to help you a lot. But I'm also hearing that you have like tons of inner wisdom already to, work out this scenario for the best that it can be already. Oh, we also have circle. Look at all these different hands. This is about being more collaborative, listening to the feedback and making changes, even though it's hard. It's hard to listen to feedback sometimes, especially if it's like, if we're not being told like, oh, it's already amazing, you don't need to change. Like that's the easiest thing to hear. But it's not the easiest thing to hear when people are like, you know what, you could really do better in this area. That can be hard to hear, right? And so what Spirit is really coming through saying is that there's a much better outcome when we focus on the entirety of the circle rather than one piece of the pie. This is time for us to focus on everyone and really start to open yourself up to feedback, constructive criticism. It is going to help a lot. Okay, and then we also have the Vision Quest. Ooh, oh, I love this card. Okay, so what do you really desire in your life, group 1? What do you really desire in your life? What is your vision of the best life ever? The only way to become that person is to listen to the feedback of other people. And sometimes people are wrong, so I will give you that. Sometimes other people are actually wrong with their opinions, but at the same time, we can grow so much once we can start, visualizing ourselves becoming the person that we really want to be and starting to open up to the fact that, maybe we have things that we could work on, that we could improve on, right? So that's a huge message coming through. So this is time to ask yourself or start to visualize what you want in your life. Spirit is really calling you right now to visualize what it is that you want in your life. Think about it full circle, not just a piece of the pie. What do you really, really desire in your life? I'm really seeing you stepping up into like this more goddess, angelic person. Somebody who has wings that can fly. Somebody who has a lot of self-love, that knows their worth because they know that they work on themselves. A lot of people that have actually really good self-worth are the people that have enough awareness that know that, hey, I am working on myself. I do improve myself. once you start improving yourself and you listen to constructive criticism, that's going to be where you gain more self-worth, because you know that you are improving yourself. You have that awareness to know that, hey, I do have flaws. The people that are the most secure are not people that are without flaws. They're people that realize, hey, I have flaws, but I'm willing to see them and work on them. Those are the people that have the most confidence and self-worth. Okay? Because all of us have flaws at the end of the day. Okay, we also have home coming up for you. So some of you, this could be something dealing with your home life. Some of you, there could be changes around home life that might be happening for you in the next little while. So some of you may be thinking about moving or improving your home life in some way. And this card says your household situation is improving, either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. That's also interesting, because a healthy change in the occupants is also reminding me of the mind. And our mind can sometimes be very against us, right? Sometimes our mind can be really harsh. And a thing that I'm sort of seeing for you is your mind becoming a lot more easy on yourself. And as you become easier on yourself, it'll actually be easier to take on constructive criticism from other people. Usually we have a really hard time with constructive criticism or conflicts with other people when we tend to be really hard on ourselves. It can be harder to take that constructive criticism, but when we're less harsh on ourselves, it'll actually be a lot easier to take constructive criticism from other people, because we're not going to beat ourselves up about it later, right? We're going to take it, we're going to be like, oh yeah, okay, let me improve on that. Cool, thank you for that feedback, you know? So I'm really seeing your own mind improving, and you starting to almost change the thoughts that occupy your mind on a daily basis. Once you start to change that, I really think your whole life is going to improve in so many different ways. And I'm also seeing that this choice is going to become a lot easier for you to make. We also have expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. So all the things that you've been praying and hoping for, group number one, are being answered. This is a card that literally says the universe hath heard you. They have heard you, okay? And expect a miracle. So I think all of this is happening in order to improve you. All hard lessons in life are there for us to learn to improve. And I'm really hearing that spirit is telling you that there is a miracle within all of this that you're currently going through. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else we get for my group ones. See what other cards do we have for group one. We have house one, so this is about the self, your self-image, who you are, your individuality, your approach to life. Your approach to life is needing to shift, and that's going to be what really helps you decide what direction to go in. Is who are you? Who do you want to become? What's the vision that you have for yourself? It is time to follow that and create that vision, because if we continue to stay the same and we go the easy route and stay the same, we are not ever going to become the self that we desire to become. Who do you envision yourself to be? Change how you think about yourself. And this is going to help you take on that new direction that's going to be a much better outcome for you. We also have house 11, so the people that are around you. Again, we have a huge theme coming up about the people that you're surrounded by. This could be your friends, your coworkers, your employees, if you have any, people that, again, you work with or you go to school with, or again, just friends or acquaintances, things like that. So this says friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So this is about being more open and collaborative. This is learning how to have better communication skills. This is learning how to consider other people's thoughts and feelings and desires, because this is about humanitarian beliefs. This is about thinking about the big picture, the full circle. It's going to really help you out, group number one, to think about everyone that's involved rather than just yourself, or rather than just solely focusing only on other people. This is about also yourself. This is about other people, and this is about the self. So where are we out of balance? Are we constantly always focused on ourselves and our wants and needs, or are we constantly always focused on other people's wants and needs? And maybe we need to change that. We need to start focusing on, okay, what do I want? And what do other people want? And how can we make this mesh together? And maybe we're gonna have to let some people down because maybe we're realizing we don't mesh with certain people. Some people may be very out of alignment with us. And if so, maybe we need to let them go and find people that we can better collaborate with, right? But we need to kind of face that challenge first and see, is there something I can improve on? Is there something I can learn from? Because if so, this is going to be a huge learning lesson. And if we can learn how to collaborate with those people, it's going to teach us so much, right? But then again, you know, maybe there's certain cases where there is no maybe fixing it. Maybe we're just realizing that I really need new people in my life. So whatever the case may be for you personally, that is sort of what we have coming up here. So let's see if we can get any last wisdom from Spirit for you. Okay, let's see, any last wisdom from Spirit? Okay, so we have opportunities coming up. So this says, unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. So we don't need to wait for a sign. We don't need to wait for the perfect moment, because at the end of the day, there's usually not a perfect moment. We're usually not ever ready. So we might be waiting like, oh, I'm gonna wait till the right time, which, you know, sometimes there is divine timing, but also opportunities, we don't need to wait to create an opportunity. Sometimes we can create it on our own. So unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. We can create our own opportunities. So Spirit's telling you to create your own opportunity for this. Ooh, and then we have the wish card. Anytime that the wish card comes up, this is Spirit coming down to tell you to actually make a wish, like literally make a wish, okay? So close your eyes right now, group number 1, and make your wish. Make your wish. Even whisper it out loud, whatever you want to do, but make your wish. Whenever the wish card comes up, my loves, that is a sign from the universe to make your wish. And the universe is saying, like, I got you, let's make this happen, but tell me what it is, okay? And then we have the card Woods. Be like the woods, calm, soothing, mysterious, and full of life. I really think Spirit wants you to realize that abundance is all around you. I'm hearing the message that abundance exists all around you. There's infinite possibilities. We're all connected at the end of the day. Your intentions are heard. Just like trees communicate with each other through their root system and through like even mycelium of mushrooms, it's all interweaved and interconnected. We're energetically connected to everything on this planet. So be like the woods, calm, soothing, mysterious, and full of life. Your intentions are heard. How do you want this to play out? What is your ideal situation? Even if you don't know, the perfect picture of what that looks like, at least state what you'd like it to be and allow that vision to begin forming. Okay? You have so much more potential. I wish I could tell you the emotion that I'm getting from this Woods card. Like, it's very magical and it's calming. But it's very, very, very strong. It's a strong energy. This is also telling you to be very strong in your vision with what you want. This is about stepping into your power. So be like the woods. You can be full of life. You don't have to let this weigh on you to where it takes your life force energy. I'm really hearing be strong like the woods through all of this. Okay, so that is our last few cards that we have here for our messages from Spirit. I do also want to pull at least one card from this deck too. So hold on, before we go, let's pull at least one more card here. So let's see, group 1. What else does Spirit want to say for my lovely group 1s? We have behind a mask. So this is time to stop hiding. That's a huge message. So this is time to stop hiding your truth, stop hiding your authenticity, stop being scared of being you. This is time to step up into your power, group number one. The universe is really calling you to step up into your power because this choice is going to become so clear to you. It's going to become so obvious to you once you stop wearing the mask and being scared of your authenticity, being scared of speaking your honesty, being scared of speaking your truth. Be strong like the woods. You are a powerful, powerful being, group number one. This is time to stop hiding behind a mask. This is time to step up to be you and expect a miracle out of this situation, okay? Maybe we're gonna need to start surrounding ourselves with people that are more in alignment with us, or maybe we're gonna have to learn better how to work, right? But at the same time, this is all gonna start beginning through removing the mask, being your true, authentic self, not hiding, not repressing your emotions, because it's all felt at the end of the day. This is time to really start being you. Okay? So, that is what we have for you, group number one. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helped you with your big choice in life. I hope this offered some of the guidance that you were looking for. And again, I'm sending you all of my love. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up to let me know that. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I make them all the time and I love making them for you. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group number two, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's hop right into it. All right, so my lovely group twos, welcome to your part of this reading. So over here in the center, this is representing your sort of kind of energy right now. Over off to the side, this is representing choice number one, and this is choice number two. This card is representing the pros of the situation, the cons, and then the outcome. And this is pros, cons, and outcome, okay? So let's talk about both different choices that you have in front of you. So when we start off with the Four of Cups being reversed as your current card, there's something where it maybe feels like something that we're doing is not really giving us the outcome that we're wanting, and we've sort of squeezed every last drop out of the lemon, and we feel like we're sort of maybe disappointed with something that we're currently doing, or we're not really getting the fulfillment out of what we are currently doing. So with choice number one, the pros of choice number one, this Nine of Wands being reversed is telling me that the pros of this situation and going, you know, in this choice number one direction would be that we've done this before. There's an energy of like, oh, we've already dealt with it before. We're already familiar with it. Therefore, we know the battles that we have to face. We're already familiar, right? So there's a familiarity that makes it more comfortable for you to go with choice number one. There's this sense of familiarity, but at the same time, there is this sense that, hey, we're going to be dealing with the same problems though. Sure, they're familiar, but it is the same problems. So we're gonna have to decide, do we really want to continue dealing with those same problems and facing those same things? The cons of the situation though are this question of, is it ever going to change? Is there ever gonna be the outcome that I'm hoping for? And there's this fear around this because the moon being reversed is this sort of more fearful kind of energy and this unknown, so fearing the unknown. So there's a fear of like, oh shit, like it actually might not change. So at the same time, it brings us comfort to know like, hey, we've already dealt with this, so we already know what to expect. So there's a comfort there because it's familiar. But at the same time, the familiarity is also scary because it's like, okay, well, frick, what if it actually doesn't change? That is a scary outcome if it doesn't change. Sure, it brings us comfort because we already know how to deal with it. We already know where it's gonna lead us, how it's gonna play out. But at the end of the day, there's a fear of like, is it ever gonna change? Then we also have the Queen of Pentacles being reversed, and this is our outcome card. The outcome is sort of not really getting entirely what we want. The outcome of going along with choice number one, which is the more familiar choice, is it's not really bringing us full fulfillment. It's not really bringing us what we want physically. The Pentacles are usually a physical card that talk about either money, resources, time, or physicality things, like physical stuff. So this is not physically leading us where we want to go in our life. It's not giving us what we really truly desire to experience in life, because there's this slight lack of fulfillment here when the Queen of Pentacles is reversed. It's not really giving us everything. So that is the choice number 1 over here. And choice number 2, here's the pros, the cons, and the outcome. The pros of going along with choice number 2 is this sense of freedom and this sense of being able to shed some kind of responsibility. So this could be, carrying the weight of this whole situation and being able to kind of like let loose and kind of like let go of a little bit of that burden, that weight, that baggage. The Knight of Pentacles being reversed here under the pros is really giving me the sense of letting go of baggage. If we go in this new direction, we get to let go of baggage. But at the same time, it's a little bit bittersweet, because the Knight of Pentacles reverse comes with a little bit of bittersweet energy, and so does this Six of Swords. So the cons of this is the fact that it's a bit bittersweet. We're losing something, but at the same time, we know that there's probably better out there for us. But it's bittersweet. It's still kind of like a little bit of a stab, but we are going in a better direction. So the cons of it is the fact that, it's still gonna, just whacked my ring on the counter. It's still gonna give us a little bit of hardship or pain emotionally to have to go through this and make this other choice. But the Six of Pentacles, or the Six of Swords, does remind us though that we are going in a better direction. So in terms of cons on this side, it looks like the cons are not that bad, because the Six of Swords upright is still a great card. It does have that bittersweet energy, but you're still headed in such a better direction. We have the sunrise here. Look at the sunrise on that horizon. We're going towards more sun. We're going towards sunnier times. Sure, we're leaving behind something in the past that maybe we were attached to or whatnot, but we're headed towards the sunrise. We're headed towards clearer waters, smoother times. And the outcome of this choice number 2 is the King of Wands. And that is such a great card, because this is about us stepping into our power, stepping into what we really desire. We're becoming a leader of our own life. This a lot of the times can also symbolize us owning our own business or getting a lot of recognition or praise, being a leader. And I'm really seeing you being the leader of your own life. That's something I keep hearing with this King of Wands, is being the leader of your own life. So you are becoming the leader of your own life in this direction. And you're becoming somebody who knows how to get what they want, because the King of Wands is also somebody who has a lot of charisma, a lot of passion, and they know how to get what they want. And they get it. That's the thing. The King of Wands knows how to get it, and they get it. So I'm really seeing you stepping into much more of a powerful position in this direction of knowing how to get what you want, and also this emotional maturity I'm really getting, because you're learning how to really deal with letting go of things that don't serve you. And I think that that's going to really push you into learning how to become this Knight of Wands, which is very independent. The Knight of Wands is so independent, and he's so powerful and funny, humorous. He has this zest for life, where life becomes passionate, romantic, creative, spontaneous, fun, full of life. There's a life energy with the King of Wands. So I really feel like your whole personality, your persona, yourself is becoming a lot more alive through this direction. Although it is hard at first, there is going to be a little bit of like a hurdle to kind of like get over before you're fully in this King of Wands position. Because first we have to travel out of that. And it is going to, I think you will have to like travel out of this situation. There's something here where either you have to move, because the Six of Swords can indicate moving. It can indicate travel of some kind, or, really a huge transition. This card is the card of transition. And the transition may be hard, because this is in the cons area. So this is kind of telling you that this transition is probably going to be a little tough, but it is bringing you to a much better outcome than what this is leading you towards. So that is basically what we have for your 2 different options. within your choice. So now we're gonna go ahead and shuffle some other cards to get some more information on this reading for you. So let's see what we have for you. Let's see. Okay, that's tons of cards, but we're gonna go with those right there. So we have Sweat Lodge and the Rainmaker. Ooh, both of those deal with emotions and the water element. So that is very interesting that we have both of these coming up for you. So let's start off with the Sweat Lodge. There's something that you need to cleanse and get rid of that you know that it's time to kind of let go of. The Sweat Lodge is something where, it feels really heated. So you could go through a moment where something feels really heated and maybe it's making you sweat a little bit. Like this idea makes you kind of sweat a little bit just thinking about it. But it is for a cleanse. It will cleanse you. So this could turn into something that feels a little bit heated to kind of maybe go in this new direction, but it will really purify you and open you up to such new possibilities. Then we have the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker can talk about a big release and also a cleansing. And it reminds us that rain is a lot of the times very beneficial and essential. Imagine our world if everything was just summertime all the time. And think about summertime as like, no rain, just like bright, hot stuff. It turns into a desert. It becomes a desert. Deserts are summertime all the time. But we need spring where there's a lot of water flow, there's a lot of rain or fall or even winter so that a place can renew itself. Otherwise, it's only a sweat lodge. So the Rainmaker, so even though we might be scared of harder times where it feels like there's a cloud over our heads and it's raining, that's what I'm seeing like here. I'm seeing like this being your rain, this Six of Swords, this transition. It's the rainy times, we're in water, and there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of shedding, but it's also cleansing. It's helping purify you. And that's when we get to all the seeds that we've planted now get watered. So all of those ideas that you wanted to create, all of the visions that you have for yourself, that transition, that hardship, that emotion that you'll be dealing with is actually going to water and feed all of those seeds because that's what the rain brings. And a lot of the times when we visualize rain, it's kind of like when the cloud is over our head, it feels like we're going through a hard time. But those hard times literally feed the seeds of our soul. And I know that sounds contradictory because we're like, oh, but the rain, it's so hard to deal with. And a lot of the times we don't think about how beneficial it actually is. After a rainfall, whenever you go outside after it rains, the smell of that is incredible. The plants are all of a sudden more alive than ever. So this is actually creating you into more aliveness in your life. It's leading you to becoming more alive. But first we need to sweat it out. We need to go through that hardship where maybe there's even going to be a little bit of anger, because when we think about the heat and the sweat lodge kind of energy, it can indicate that maybe there's a little bit of anger and maybe we're needing to actually let that resurface so that we can get it out and we don't need to repress it. This is about letting out repressed stuff, group number 2. You may have certain repressed emotions that are really heating you up on the inside, that may make you kind of frustrated and even like sweaty or heated, right? And if so, it's really telling you to let that out. Be the Rainmaker, let it out. This is really a time to begin letting out your emotions, and we don't need to let them out in a vicious way either. So I don't want you guys to take this information and be like, oh, it's time for me to let it out in a vicious way and send that crazy text to somebody and like be all crazy and vicious. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is let those emotions resurface, and it's time for us to actually let them out. But you can let them out in compassionate ways. You can let them out in authentic ways that are still respectful. We can still be respectful with the way that we speak, right? Okay, so the next couple cards that we just pulled is Divine Passion. Look at this volcano erupting behind her. This is going to help you step into your passion more, group number 2. Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? What is your heart's true desire? It is time to realize that you're able to live that. And some of you may be popping off like a volcano. But also, I think as you sweat this out, you're really it's almost like opening your pores. And the volcanoes are almost like the pores of our earth. right? So as you begin to sweat out all of this stuff and release all of this kind of emotional baggage that you've been holding on to and whatnot, I'm seeing your passion being able to pop off. Because right now, it's like your anger, your resentment, or your sadness, or your hardship is all sitting on a layer. It's like a layer over your skin that's not allowing your passion to be released, is kind of the visual that Spirit's giving me through this. All those emotions that you've been repressing and holding back, those are sitting like a layer of wax on your skin, and you're not able to sweat. You're not able to let your passion out, but it's because you've been maybe scared to let out all of the other stuff, but it's sitting there like a block to all of the good stuff. And right when you release that, it's like you're popping off like a volcano. Divine passion is able to pour back into your life. It's like you're dancing. There's this freedom. There's this energy. There's this, like, it's an intense, like, you that's being reborn. Ooh, it's powerful. Okay. Anyway, next card. We have Leap of Faith. Oh, so sometimes we just need to have a little bit of faith. We need to jump into things. We need to have faith. We need to maybe take a leap of faith too, because sometimes it can be hard, and sometimes we're sitting at the edge being like, am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? And we question it for so long. So we think that choices take a long time to make, but the thing is choices happen in an instant. It's the overthinking process that takes a long time. So take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. What is your heart's truest desire? What is it? Because it looks like you're about to pop off, and it looks like there's some things that you need to let out. It looks like there's some things that you need to say in order to step into your power. And it looks like you're doing that. Look at how powerful that card is. And this card happens because of this leap of faith. This is about putting your desires into action. Okay? So let's go ahead and see what other cards we have for you. Let's see, we have milestones. So a lot of you are going to, I think, reach a big milestone, honestly, very soon. There's like achievement here for you. There's some sort of achievement that maybe you want to reach. And I think it's going to happen soon after letting out all of this sort of like stuck energy, and being able to let your passion back out, because all of that repressed energy is literally sitting like a layer on top of your passion, and it's not allowing your passion to come and shine through. But as we release it, all of a sudden it's like your passion and your drive, your motivation can kind of finally bubble to the surface, and it looks like you're going to be taking action in a way that leads you to really important milestones, honestly, very fast in your life. We also have back and forth, so it's time for us not to keep questioning. A lot of you have been really back and forth and questioning, and it's so interesting that we have this one showing up when we're talking about specifically the topic of a big choice in your life. I mean, I'm not even surprised that we have this card coming up. So you've clearly been back and forth on this. You've clearly been, oh, but what will happen if I do this scenario? What will happen if I do that? Or what if I run into that? What if that happens? Oh my God, that would be crazy. I wouldn't want that. So we've been really back and forth. But what is it worth? What is your passion, your drive, your sanity, your happiness? What is all of that worth to you? Once you figure out your values about what you value most and what is worth most to you, this is what's going to help you make this decision. What are your values? What do you value most? If this was somebody else's life, like if this was your son or daughter's life, or if this was your mom's life, your parents or somebody that you love, what if it was their life? What would you be telling them? What would you be telling them to do? Would you tell them like, oh no, suck it up and like keep repressing those emotions, don't do anything? Or would you tell them like, you know what? Do something for yourself for a change. Do something for yourself. Let your passion come to the surface. Let yourself think about what you really want, what you really want to achieve, and what you really want to reach in your life. Why would anybody want to hold you back from that? Right? Okay, so let's go ahead and see some more cards for you. Let's see, these are some astrology cards, so let's see any more information. We have the square happening, so a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. So there's something where you feel like we'd have to take a really sharp turn in order to make this work. It's like a really sharp turn. It's a really sharp choice. It feels like a sharp choice. But this change of direction, what is it worth to you? Is it worth it? Is it worth your happiness? Is it worth your sanity? Is it worth your passion for life? We also have Venus coming up. Okay, so Venus deals with love, passion. It also deals with money. So this says, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. But Venus is also the planet of money too. So this could be talking about the money that you have in your life. It could be talking about the relationships you have in your life, the love that you have in your life. It could be talking about your own beauty and how you see the world, romance, all that kind of stuff. So there's something that's currently squaring you. It's kind of like, it's like a thing in your path. So it's like you're wanting to go this way, but there's something that's stopping you. That's that square. Look at that. It's making that 90-degree angle, that square. So it's something that's coming in and it's like completely like a wall in front of you. What is this wall in front of you? What is stopping you? What is hindering you from moving forward? What is stopping you from fully giving and receiving love? What is stopping you from finding value? What is stopping you from seeing beauty? What is stopping you from making money? What is stopping you from expanding further? What is stopping you from the passion of life, for the zest of life? What is coming through and stopping that? Because Spirit is coming through like, it is time to fix this. Okay? It is time to fix this. And okay, let's see. I just shuffled these cards literally like not even once, and we already have cards. So these are advice cards from Spirit. So let's see what Spirit has to say for you. They have transform as the first card coming out here. So this transform card says, emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. So I think a lot of the reasons why some of you have not taken action on whatever this is because maybe you feel like it's out of your character. Because you may be somebody who enjoys this. You're like a Venusian energy, group 2. I'm really feeling like you're a Venusian energy. There's like this feminine, beautiful, like you like the beautiful things in life. You like love, you like romance. You're more of that like, again, the Venusian energy of life. You're that type of person. You're not like the Mars person who's like, let's take action and break through this wall and get this and blah, blah. Like you're a bit more of the more romance, love, beauty, and like, you know, that kind of stuff is what I'm sort of feeling from this. But it's like you're being challenged to not be that way. We have that square. There's something in your life that may feel out of character for you. So what Spirit is telling you right now is to transform. You can emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. And some of you may have even like changed because of this situation. Maybe you've been more of that action, like harsher action taker kind of person, whereas deep down inside, you're not really that way normally, but maybe you've been that way for a while. This is telling you that you can handle this situation with beauty and grace. You can handle it that way. You can handle it with poise, with love. You can handle it in that way. So you can emerge, you can open up with beauty and grace. You can be authentic with beauty and grace. You also have adventure. Live wild and free. This is time for you to expand and not be scared of adventure. Not be scared of the unknown. It's an adventure. Look at it as an adventure. Look at life as this adventure that you get to create. So live wild and free. We're meant to be wild and free. We're not meant to stay stagnant and stay the same. We also have trust. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. Also, sorry, there's a bunch of cars clearly like racing down the highway right now. Okay. So this is also telling you to take action, get that action going. That's what those cars are telling you. So this card says, the robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. So this is time to not put all your trust in you know, what you have. Don't just be reliant on like, oh, I have this and I have that. Trust yourself. You have what it takes. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. When a bird flies and sits on a branch, they're not trusting that the branch is going to be there forever. If that branch falls, they know that they have wings that will take them elsewhere. So certain things in your life may fall apart. So stop trusting in all of those other things. Trust yourself. Put your trust in yourself, because that way you'll never get disappointed. And that way you'll know that you have what it takes to do anything, okay? So that is what we have for you, my beautiful group number 2s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group number 3, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so group 3, here's what we have for you. We have the Sun, the 10 of Wands, the Strength, the 3 of Swords, the Devil. Then we have the 8 of Pentacles being reversed and the 7 of Pentacles upright. So this side over here represents your option number 1, and this side over here represents option number 2. So of course, we're in the topic of choice. So those are our 2 sides. This card represents the pros, this card represents the cons, this card represents the outcome. Then this card represents the pros, the cons, and then the outcome. So we're going to talk about all of what this is representing so that you can maybe gain some guidance on the choice that lay at hand for you. So the Sun card right in the center represents you in the moment right now. And since we have this Sun card, honestly, this kind of makes me feel like either way, there's like some goodness in the air for you. There's some good kind of light shining, and it almost seems like no matter which direction you go in, there's this goodness, there's this optimism within you. And even if you don't feel like that right now, the fact that we have the Sun right front and center says that you're surrounded by really good energy at the very least. Even if you do not feel it, you are surrounded by really good, bright light energy, and what you are going through is leading you towards a very good outcome, okay? So let's talk about your different options. So let's start with choice number 1. And this option over here, the pros of going in this direction is that you're really learning how to take responsibility and carry a lot. You are learning strength. You are learning how to be strong, especially externally. You are learning how to take on, you know, multiple different things and how to deal with it, how to handle it. You are learning so much in terms of lessons. So that's actually a pro in this area, even though the 10 of Wands is usually a bit more of a heavier card and a bit more of like there's a big weight kind of card. At the end of the day, since it's in the pros section, this would indicate that this choice, this option over here, going in this direction would bring you a lot more strength emotionally, physically, and spiritually. One of the cons is the fact, it's interesting that we also have strength right here, is that you would be learning a lot about emotional strength. And when we have to learn emotional strength, it usually means that we're going through a lot of emotional things that we have to be strong for, which can end up being kind of difficult or hard. We're also needing to learn patience in this area. And the outcome card of this option would be kind of something that's not as fulfilling in the end. It's a little bit more disappointing, and it can indicate that this is leading us towards a little bit of heartbreak or disappointment. We're taking on so much and it's not leading us to where we really, really want to go. So that's what this option is sort of showing us over here. Option number 2 is interesting because the pros is the Devil card. So the pros is that we would be learning how to not repress ourselves anymore, how to not repress our wants, needs, and emotions, how to not be overpowered, and we would also be awakening different illusions in our life. We would have to really come up to the surface and no longer be repressed. So that's one of the pros that we have over here. And then one of the cons is that we would probably have to work on ourselves a lot. In this route, this second option, we would be uncovering different parts of ourselves that we would need to work on. But that's actually going to end up being a positive for us, even though it's kind of hard at first. A lot of the times when we start to see our own sort of maybe issues or our own sort of faults, it can be a daunting process, but at the same time, once we have awareness over them, then we also have the power to change them. And the Eight of Pentacles being reversed is, we have the power to change it, but the fact is that it takes some time and it takes effort to change those things. So that is going to be one of the cons of this direction. But this direction is leading you towards the Seven of Pentacles. The outcome would be the Seven of Pentacles, which is planting new seeds, growing new flowers, growing a brand new garden. And it doesn't necessarily mean brand new, but we're at least learning how to grow the garden of our dreams. We're learning how to be more abundant. We're learning how to be more fruitful, and we're learning how to create more abundance for ourselves. So going in this direction would teach you how to create more abundance for yourselves, but we are going to have to look at our own flaws and fix them. We're going to have to look at things that we've repressed in the past. We're going to have to look at what we've been denying for a long time. And we're going to have to work on fixing it. The pros is that we're going to become aware of those things. We're going to become aware of all of the things that we have been maybe denying or hiding or repressing. I'm really seeing a lot of freedom in this area, lots of freedom. This to me is not as much freedom. The Ten of Wands is when we have a lot of responsibility, and it's the kind of the opposite of freedom, because when we have tons of responsibility, we don't really have free time. We can't really do what we want because we have tons of responsibility. Or we're carrying a lot, right? So this whole area, it's teaching you a lot of emotional strength in some way. It's teaching you how to be strong internally. I can tell you that. This area is teaching you how to be strong internally. But is it giving you the outcome that you want in your life? No. The Three of Swords is disappointment. The Three of Swords is lack of fulfillment. The Three of Swords is when our mind and our heart are in an argument, because the swords are our mind and the heart is obviously our heart. So when the swords are stabbing the heart, it indicates that our mind, our logic, is stabbing our intuition and our heart and our desire. So it's stabbing your passion. So there could be something that you believe, or something that logically you're following because you're being like more logical, or you're listening to reason, but maybe it's in conflict with what you truly desire and want. So the outcome of this area, it looks like you're building tons of emotional strength, but you're also repressing your heart. Over here, we stop repressing our heart. We stop being repressed. We stop being oppressed because there may be certain people. Maybe we're trying to please other people, right? Over here, we stop pleasing other people. We stop repressing ourselves and our true desires and wants and needs. But it's going to take some work. We're going to have to work at this. We're going to have to work on breaking ourselves free. We're going to have to work on beginning to open ourselves up. We have to work on beginning to follow what we really desire. And this whole thing is leading you towards this Sun card, towards your authenticity, towards your personal light that you want to shine, who you really want to be, okay? And look at, you're being torn in two different directions even on the Sun card. It's really interesting that we have this depiction and we have these two different options here. You're being torn in two different directions already. Part of you wants to uphold this and be responsible and do the right thing. Then part of you also really wants to break free and plant new seeds for the future. The outcome of this, the Seven of Pentacles, is learning how to plant new seeds and be abundant on your own, and learning how to water your own garden and create your own happiness. This side, the outcome is learning how to create your own happiness and to be happy. This side is learning how to maybe please what is expected of you, but it's not bringing you happiness, okay? So those look like the outcomes of the two different options. So hopefully that offers a little bit of insight on what's currently kind of going on and the outcomes of each of those. So let's go ahead now and see some other cards that come up. So we have the Staff. This is about taking control of your life. So Spirit's guidance for you, grab the staff. It's your time to speak. You know that that thing where it's like, oh, if this person's holding the stick, it's their time to speak. It's nobody else's time to speak. So this is about having more boundaries in your life. And this is also about giving yourself time, giving yourself control. This is controlness over you, your own sovereignty, rather than letting other people control you, rather than letting other people overpower you, rather than giving the power away to other people, rather than giving your staff your control. to somebody else. Don't give your life away to somebody else. The Spirit is coming through right now, group number 3. Do not give your life away to other people. This is your time to speak. This is your time to be in control of your life. This is your time to make your own choices. The staff is coming through as a very powerful symbol from Spirit, being like, this is about, do you want to control your own life? Imagine this right now. The staff symbolizes your own sovereignty and the control over your life, and who gets to speak and who gets to call the shots. Imagine the staff has the power. Whoever's holding the staff, it's like that magic baton. Whoever holds the staff has the power to call the shots. Let's say you have one where it is connected to your life and you're handing it to your family. And you're like, okay, you guys get to call the shots of my life. Or you hand it over to a friend or a spouse, a relationship. And imagine that person gets to call the shots of your life. Are you really even, it's being a puppet at that point, right? The universe is really calling you to take back control over your own life. Group number 3. This is really, really, really about taking back control over your own life. And once you do, all of a sudden this choice is going to become very obvious to you. But right now, the reason why the choice is hard to make is because you've given the staff away. So of course you're sitting there being like, I don't know what to do. Somebody should decide for me. I know what I want internally, but I'm waiting for somebody else to tell me it's okay. I'm waiting for somebody else to accept what I want. Sometimes we don't always get that. Sometimes people don't always accept what we want, right? So what Spirit is really coming through to tell you, group number 3, is take back the staff of your life. Take back control over your life. You're a sovereign individual being. And a lot of the times we can give up control to our parents or our spouse or our partner. And it's because it's like, oh, well, my family birthed me into this world, so they have control over me. No. You are your own being. You are not a puppet. Nobody's a puppet, okay? So, and it's good to have respect. It doesn't mean you can't have respect for your family or for your spouse or anything like that. This is not saying that you can't have respect, okay? This is saying that you need to take back control over your own life, but you can do so in respectful ways. You could be like, I respect your beliefs and your desires, but I have my own. And, we don't need to control other people, nor should other people control us, right? We also have the seer. What do you really want in your life? I'm hearing that you have very empathic abilities. The seer card is telling me that you have very empathic abilities, which is why you tend to give up power to other people, because you tend to understand people very deeply. But it's time to start understanding yourself, is what I'm hearing. Start to understand yourself. I got goosebumps when I said that. This is time to start understanding and seeing yourself. You have a gift for seeing into other people, which is why you're very empathic, which is why you tend to understand people very well, which is why you tend to allow people to kind of, do whatever they want. This is time to find yourself, to see yourself, to get to know yourself. And as you do, you'll have more compassion for you. We also have the arrow. So what do you want in life? And it's time to shoot for that. It's time to go in that direction. What do you want? It's time to pull back that bow and arrow and shoot in that direction. See your target. What do you really want? Okay, let's see what else we get for you. Let's see what else Spirit has to say for my lovely group 3s. We have Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrow. This is reminding you that you don't need to rely on other people. You have everything that it takes to become and be anything or achieve anything that you desire. This is a reminder that you have it all within. You don't need to wait for other people's approval. You don't need to wait for other people to help you. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Okay? That doesn't end. That's infinite supply. You are supplied with all of the capability. Okay? You are supplied with all of that capability. You just need to start believing in yourself. You just need to start seeing your own power, okay? So Sedna is coming through to tell you, like, hey, you don't need to wait on other people to agree with you, right? You don't need to wait for other people to be on the same page as you for you to start living your life, okay? We also have Medicine Woman. You are a channel for divine healing power. I'm getting some nice spiritual gifts from you, Group 3. I'm getting some really intense spiritual gifts where you are a natural healer, which is why you tend to focus a lot of your energy and your power on other people. But sometimes you have to remember to heal yourself as well. That'll bring you more into your power to begin also healing yourself. But I'm definitely getting like you have some really intense like spiritual gifts. Okay. We also have start delegating, ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So even ask the Green Tara spirit to help you. Okay? We can ask for help from other people, but I'm hearing a lot of like, okay, we can be independent, but we can also ask others to be like, hey, do you accept me for who I am? Or at least find people who are on your same page if you really want that support. All of us need support at the end of the day, right? But I'm really hearing it's okay to step into your independence, but at the same time, it may be also very beneficial to find people who really support you. We also have Guardian. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. So just because you go on living your own life doesn't mean that you're abandoning other people. You don't need to abandon other people to live your own life, okay? You can still be a gardener and keep the best interests of your family or your loved ones in alignment with you, okay? You can still keep that alignment, but still live your life. Let's see what else we get from my lovely Group 3s. Commitment. This is time to commit to the things that you really want to commit to. Make a promise to yourself. What promise do you really want to keep to yourself this year? This is time to commit to it and have no exceptions, no cheat days. What are you committing to this year? Spirit really wants you to make a commitment to yourself. Loss. Don't be afraid of losing things. Okay? Don't be afraid of loss. Because do we really want to live a life of pure control? I'm really hearing from Spirit, don't be afraid of loss because you're going to be protected no matter what, is what I'm hearing. You're spiritually protected. Don't be afraid of loss. Of course, don't make like crazy radical decisions that are obviously not good at all. Like use your awareness, use caution, but at the same time, don't be afraid of losing things that are completely out of alignment with you, is what I'm getting. Don't be afraid of losing things that are completely out of alignment with you. So for example, like ending a bad habit. If we're ending a bad habit of eating bad food, and that's what we're committing to, we get the loss of comfort that food brought us. We're losing that comfort that food once brought us. But we're committing to something much healthier. But if we can find a way to replace what it is that we lost, something that's so great that it really fills that void, it'll help us stay committed to what we're really wanting to commit to. Okay? Something that's also equally healthy and good. Okay, so let's go ahead and see any last cards here. We're also going to get some advice cards after this. Let's see, we have the first house and Capricorn. This is time for you to start focusing on you and what you want and climbing your own mountain. That is exactly what these two cards represent. This is time to focus on you. What do you want? Individuality, self-image, and your approach to life. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And then Capricorn, this is about climbing that mountain, ambition, realism, and the methodical steps. So what's going to actually get you there? This is time to start climbing your own mountain. Okay, what do you want? How are we going to take action to get there? Okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get any last advice cards here for you. We have change. Falling leaves do not signify the end, but the beginning of a fruitful season. Oh, I love that. So falling leaves don't signify the end, but instead they signify the beginning of a fruitful season. As we know, whenever fruit begins to blossom, there's like a flower that blossoms first, but then that flower loses its petals, and then the fruit comes. So don't be afraid of loss. Don't be afraid of losing certain leaves, because you're about to bear fruit. You're about to be abundant. So that is the main message coming through for you. Let's see if we can get anything else. We have adventure coming out, and we also have caution. So tread softly as to not disturb the woodland floor. So it doesn't mean that we need to all of a sudden become wild and radical. This is still keeping that sense of balance and caution in your life, which we were saying earlier. But at the same time, we can be adventurous. We can be open to change. We can live a life that is free. But we don't need to let go of, all sense of rationality. This is basically saying that it's okay to be rational. It's okay to live the life that you want. This is time to take back control of your life, but don't lose control in the process, is what this is saying. Find that balance of taking back control of your life, but still keeping that control over your life, okay? Still being adventurous, but cautious at the same time. Okay, this is the opening of a fruitful season for you. So I think this choice is going to become a lot more clear to you once you find that there is balance that you can have. I think that's also why we have the sun, because maybe this is telling you that the best outcome is the marrying of both of these choices. We don't need to fully disown everything in our life in order to live the life that we want. We can find that balance, that respect, while still living the life that we actually want and taking back our power and our sovereignty without getting too crazy or out of hand. We can have that nice balance. So this is about creating and finding that nice balance, okay? So that is the message that we have from Spirit for you, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I hope it provided the guidance that you were looking for. And again, you can hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group number 4, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's hop right into it. All right, so group number 4, here's what we have for you. So we have this center card, which is representing you right now. And then over on this side, this is like option number 1 in your choice. And then this is option number 2 in your choice. And we have pros, cons, and outcome, and then pros, cons, and outcomes. So we're going to try to get as much information as possible in this sort of choice that you have in front of you. So starting off with this High Priestess being reversed, some of you feel like you don't intuitively know exactly how this is going to turn out. And I feel like a lot of you are very intuitive, very empathic. Those of you who chose this pile, you are usually bang on with your intuition, bang on with what you feel. Like you're very sensitive, and you're able to really tell usually how situations are going to turn out, or maybe how people are going to react to certain things. You're usually really good at that. But when it comes to this particular choice that you are asking about, it seems like you are a little bit lost because you don't get a for sure intuitive feeling about it. And maybe this choice deals with you opening up more, because the High Priestess is usually somebody who's a little bit more secretive. Usually they have a secret, and when she is reversed, it can say that there's something that we are either hiding, not wanting to speak about, something that we need to open up about, or something that we've been sort of, hiding. So with choice or option number 1 that we have over here, the pros of option number 1 is that we can stay in hermit mode about it. So I think for those of you who are asking about a choice, what I can kind of see here is there's something that you're like, should I stay secretive about something or should I not stay secretive about something? Should I just sweep it under the rug or should I not sweep it under the rug? I think that that's kind of like what this choice is. And the hermit here is like going within, and this is in the pros section. This is the pros of, you know, going along with option number 1. And the pros is that we can be a hermit still. We can keep our shell on. We can stay hidden in our shell. And only we know the real truth and the answer with our little lantern. But we're not really, you know, coming out of our cave. We're not coming out of our shell. So that's the pros. The cons is interesting. We have the 2 of Cups, which is normally a very beautiful and good card that talks about an amazing connection and amazing relationships. But when it's in the cons area, maybe this is saying that this is going to somehow affect our relationships. Maybe this is going to affect how we show up in our relationships. Maybe this is going to affect who we're being in our relationships. Maybe people aren't knowing us fully. Maybe somebody who's really close to us won't know us fully. Maybe we feel restricted somehow in our close relationships. Maybe we feel like people don't really know us. Or maybe we're feeling like we're losing out on a connection somehow because this is in the cons area. So this is somehow affecting your relationships if we go in this choice direction. We're staying in the dark, we're staying a little bit hidden, we're able to kind of sweep certain things under the rug and keep certain things secret. But it's somehow affecting your relationships. Then over here, our outcome card is the death being reversed. And death being reversed is resisting change that inevitably has to come out eventually. Inevitably, it has to find its way out. Inevitably, it will be known somehow, whether it's talked about or just assumed and figured out. Somehow, this is something that we cannot repress forever. Spirit is coming through being like, the outcome here is it's not going to be repressed forever. The more that we prolong it, the more intense that this change is going to kind of build up and accumulate to. Okay? For choice number 2 over here, we have the Hierophant under our pros, but the Hierophant is reversed here. So the pros of this way is it's a little bit unconventional. There's something here that's unconventional with the Hermit being reversed, and that's under our pros. So somehow it's good that it's not necessarily, maybe there's something unconventional about you or something that you desire that maybe is outside of the societal norms, right? And that's why we have the Hierophant being reversed. So the pros is maybe you get to be yourself. Maybe you get to show who you really are, right? And maybe you are like, you know, maybe it's not necessarily a societal a norm, you know, but maybe it's just there's something unique about you. Maybe you get to show your actual true self, your authenticity, your uniqueness. And maybe that's the pro here. Maybe you're interested in things that most people aren't interested in. Maybe you have certain things that you'd love to explore in life that maybe, you know, people don't usually go after. Maybe you have different dreams. Maybe you're different in certain ways, and that we're maybe scared about talking about. Maybe we are desiring something that's more unconventional. So the pros of it is that you would get to embrace your unconventionality. You don't have to put on a front. You don't have to be a people pleaser. When the Hierophant is reversed, we're no longer being a people pleaser. We're no longer just following what everyone tells us to follow and what everyone tells us to do. We're being our own person. Then on the cons, we have the 9 of Cups being reversed. So maybe the situation, you know, isn't going to maybe turn out exactly how we pictured it. Because the Nine of Cups being reversed in the cons, maybe it's like, you know, maybe there's still more to our journey here. So even when we go in this direction, it's like, oh, there's still a little bit more. Just because I like started this journey doesn't mean I got my end result quite yet. So there's still a bit more to the journey. But the outcome of this way, we have the Star card, which is such a good card, you guys. It's so great. But it's also about being very open and authentic, because the Star card, usually it's represented by a naked woman down by a pond, and it represents shedding our old skin and showing up truthfully and authentically as ourselves. So the outcome is all of a sudden you get to show up authentically as you. all of a sudden you get a new rebirth, a new beginning. And the star is something where it's finally we get to follow the light of our life. We get to follow and feel like our light is shining. We get to awaken our inner magic. So going in this direction is awakening your inner magic, group number 4. Inevitably, you're going to have to change regardless. It looks like even if you go in this direction, it just seems like, not necessarily change, but it's sort of like either this change is going to be forced upon you or you're going to be the one that initiates it, is what I'm seeing here. So hopefully this is somehow relevant to whatever it is that you are asking about. I hope this is somehow relevant to whatever you're asking about, but it looks like, in this direction, it's like, well, change is either going to be forced upon you with the death being reversed, or in this way, we get to sort of just climb out of our shell and be ourselves. And look at it, it's interesting that I keep using the shell example for the hermit, and then in the star, she's blowing the shell. So now she's using the shell to her advantage. She's in control of her shell now, rather than being stuck in it. She gets to talk about what she wants to talk about. She gets to express herself in a new way. She's expressing herself in a new way. Things that she used to repress and use to protect her, she's now using to her advantage, and being able to be creative with that, being able to express in that way. So there's a new form of expression, and there's really like an interesting magical beginning kind of creating in this other direction. There's a magical beginning, even though there may be some hardship and may not turn out exactly how we pictured it, but there's somehow going to be a blessing here. And the universe wants you to know that there's somehow a blessing within this, even if it doesn't maybe happen in the exact format that we've been hoping or picturing. So yeah, ooh, that was a bit loud. We also have the card of quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So it may actually really benefit you to think about this a little bit more and take some quiet time for yourself. Let's see what else we get from Spirit for my lovely group 4s. Let's see. We have peace. There is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Oh, I love that. So Spirit really wants you to know there's no need to worry. Be at peace with yourself because everything is working out beautifully, even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you've pictured it. Honestly, this could actually be a pleasant surprise for some of you. Some of you, this 9 of Cups reversed may be a pleasant surprise. For some of you, it may be like, it wasn't exactly how I pictured it, but either way, regardless, for all of you, there is somehow a miracle or a gift as the outcome, even if this isn't something that you entirely pictured. There's somehow something great accumulating from this. So let's see, and it all accumulates from your freedom. Let's see, we also have the ghost dance. So some of you are worried, I think, about being abandoned or ghosted for who you really are. Some of you are worried about not being accepted for who you really are. We also have angel number 22. So some of you are worried about your relationship. Some of you are worried about your connections. Some of you are worried about your foundation. Oh, also, I just realized my microphone has not been on this whole time. Hopefully you guys can still hear me because my microphone is facing me, but I just realized it's not even on. Hold on, let me put it on really quick. Okay, so we have the microphone on now, so the audio might sound a little bit better now, whereas before it's like the audio was like right there because it was like on my microphone string facing me, but it wasn't actually like on me. So sorry if the audio was a little bit not so good. But yeah, so it looks like, ooh, and you know what? That's actually a sign. That is a sign from the universe. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in like weird things happening for no reason. The fact that the microphone was off is like you've been putting off something that you've been wanting to say. You've been putting it off. It is time to put on what you want to say. It is time to own what you want to say. It's time to own your truth, own your expression. Okay, rather than ghosting yourself. You might be so worried about being ghosted, about being abandoned, but you're really kind of abandoning yourself right now. By not owning up to your authenticity and your real truth, you're abandoning yourself, but yet you're so worried about other people abandoning you. Okay, it's a weird, interesting message I got there. But anyway, let's see what else. Let's see what else we get for my lovely group 4s. Let's see. You might be worried about something being remained empty. So some of you may be worried about something becoming empty or not finding the right thing to fill it. Some of you are worried about that. Let's see what we get here from Spirit. I am feeling this card a lot. Completion. This is all coming full circle. Like, there's something here that's coming full circle where it is coming to a completion. So you don't need to worry about something being left alone, whether that be yourself or something else that you own or have. Something being left alone or left unoccupied. I'm really seeing this coming full circle. And I'm seeing like completion is fulfillment, right? So all sides of the pie are filled. I'm really seeing that fulfillment is really like right there for you, and it will come and it will happen. It's a big thing I'm seeing there. Let's see. Oh, and it's also a closing of a chapter. This is a closing of a chapter for you where you won't have to worry about like abandonment, or you won't have to worry about certain things anymore. Because also when you're just fully yourself and you show up just as yourself, your relationships improve because you find out who's really been there for you and who will be there for you for who you really are. Then you won't have to worry about being ghosted because you know that you're showing up as yourself. Therefore, all the people that do accept you, or all the people that you're going to be friends with that do accept you, you know that they're there because of who you actually are. So you don't need to worry about being yourself or scaring somebody away, or like not being in the same values as the other people, or not being accepted, or whatever the case may be. Ooh, we also have the card of a transformation coming through. So some of you, you're going through a big transformation in your life. And I also think this is a big transformation for those that are around you as well. It's going to cause a lot of changes. We also have milestone. So some of you are really wanting to be celebrated, and I'm seeing a celebration happening for you. I'm definitely seeing a celebration happening for you, but it may not be like exactly how you pictured it, but it's a different sort of like celebration, I guess, that we have for you. And I really feel like you're gonna be able to celebrate yourself, and I'm seeing like you being surrounded by really good people and things coming full circle. Okay. Let's see what else we get here. A kindred partnership. So for those of you that are worried about your relationships not going too well, or some of you are worried about like being abandoned in relationships, I see really great connections being made. I see really great connections being made for you. I see you finding people that really resonate with you. I'm seeing you not being alone. So even if you do have a period of being a little bit alone, I really see that not lasting a long time. I see great people coming into your life. I see great friendships. I'm seeing great romance, great acceptance in your life. That's gonna be very, very positive for you. Let's see what else we get here. Let's see. Group 4. What else do we have here for group 4? We have Venus coming out, which is the planet of love and beauty and money. So I'm seeing lots of love in your life, lots of acceptance. And I'm seeing your heart being able to feel more love as you begin to open yourself up. I'm seeing you being able to feel more love and to give and receive more love. Look at give and receive love. This is time for you to open yourself up to give and receive love. Okay? Find value and see beauty. I'm really seeing that you are going to open yourself up in so many different ways if you go in the direction of opening yourself up and owning who you really are. Because then you know who really loves and accepts you for who you are, rather than pretending to be something you're not. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that maybe you really wanted to get, but maybe you're very different from them and you knew that they wouldn't like you, so then you changed yourself in order for them to like you, and then all of a sudden we're stuck in a relationship with them and we're like, but I'm not happy because like I'm not being me, right? It's really time for us to open up and be honest about who we are. So that way we know who loves and accepts us. And even if we lose certain people, even if we have to lose certain people and we have to go through a transformation and we have to be ghosted and do a little solo dance for a while and be like, a little bit alone, this is going to open you up to people that really do love and accept you. This is going to open you up to realizing that it's never worth it to like deny yourself or hide yourself or wear a mask. It is never worth it. If you want real partnerships, we have to be authentic. If we want that fairy tale romance is only made through us being authentically who we are and finding somebody who's in alignment with that and who is also being authentically who they are. That's when we get that beautiful Neptune-Venus energy. I see more beauty coming into your life. I'm seeing you feeling more about who you are and feeling more confident in who you are. This Neptune and Venus, your light is gonna start shining, and there's gonna be people who find that wildly attractive, wildly attractive. And people can also sort of sense when somebody's not being fully themselves. People can sense that, right? But when you're being fully yourself and you own that, the people who really resonate with that are gonna be so wildly attracted to that. I'm seeing like wild attraction in your life, whether that be friends, family members really seeing your light, or again, romantic partnerships. And I'm seeing a lot of this happening in terms of romantic partnerships for a lot of you. Let's see what else we have. We also have the North and South Node that came up. That's so wild and crazy. There's so many cards in this deck. Also, I totally shifted this whole reading, but we have the North and South Node that came out. So this is also really calling you to shed your past. Don't let the past define you. Don't feel stuck by your past. Think about where you want to be now and where you want to go. And it's time to focus your energy in that direction and let go of the past, which is why we have the North and South Node appearing here in this reading. And with that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle our little advice cards. This Spirit has been giving us some crazy good advice through these Oracle little advice cards. So, Spirit wants you to know, take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. Also, is it raining outside? Oh my gosh, it just started raining. It like never rains over here. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. I love the rain. Okay, so kindness, take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others, my love. So be kind to yourself. Don't repress yourself. Don't hide yourself. And we can also be kind to others as well. We can respect their own opinions and beliefs as well. We can respect them. Let's see what else we get for you. Group 4, I'm feeling this card, hope. An idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. So have hope that whatever you're beginning right now can start something amazing and beautiful that can expand wilder than your wildest dreams. It can expand wilder than your wildest dreams, okay? So group 4, that is what we have for you. I also really want to pull one more card here. Trust. Okay, there we go. I knew Spirit had one last message. Oh, and then I love this card. This is one of my favorite advice cards in the whole Oracle deck. And it says, the robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. So there's certain things that are out of our control. So it's time to trust yourself. Put your trust in yourself. The robin trusts her wings. Trust yourself, not the branch that you sit on. Okay? So that is what we have for you, my lovely group number 4s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye!